the City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 363 of the Heart of LAFC podcast. That's right. We're calling this one a win is a win because it doesn't matter how you do it. You just do it. You get the win, you move on, you go to a final. That's how this sport is played. Nobody cares about how it happened. You just got there. Guess what? We're there. Another final. Good, bad, ugly, I don't care. I'm just ready for it. Of course, Araceli's happy as well because the night went very well for her too, as SKC is the other finalist. Yeah, right? It's on. SKC versus LAFC. We will be playing that. That's right. At home, at BMO, in Los Angeles. A lovely Wednesday night match that hopefully Araceli can attend. Of course, we'll bug her about that in a few minutes here. But yeah, it's on. We're in the Open Cup final. We made it. Now we got to get the job done. Of course, that doesn't end it for us. We have a busy schedule ahead as Houston comes in this weekend. So we're going to cover that too. Of course, we can't really get into these things without introducing the crew for tonight. We've got Tony. We've got Araceli. Bam is commuting home. I know, tough stuff for him. We know this. We'll get him back on soon again. Y'all know that. But let's talk to the happy crew with me here. Araceli, I'm going to you first. How are you doing?
Honestly, I feel like I need to start playing the lottery at this point because this is a matchup. Anyone who knows me knows that this is a matchup that I've been calling for since back in June, basically. And I'm still in somewhat disbelief. I mean, obviously, very excited because let's be honest, whenever are we going to see both teams go up against each other in the final? Like, this is kind of, I don't want to be dramatic and say it's a once in a lifetime, but it kind of feels like that almost, especially with the type of season that Sporting's been having lately. I mean, of course, I would have loved to for us to have a chance to host LAFC, but as the powers be, LAFC gets to host it. So we're ready. I'll just say it as that. People are ready. They're excited. I know there's already a lot of hype around it over here, making plans to make the trek out. So we'll see.
I know you guys are going to travel strong. I expect it. It wouldn't be any other way. The Sporting faithful have always been faithful, and they've been diehards for this. And this would be their fourth Open Cup that they're going for, which is freaking wild. So not one. I wouldn't call it once in a lifetime. This is attempt number. Well, I mean, not attempt number 4, but could be the fourth one, right?
This is their 5th title they're going for.
5th, but I mean for Open Cup.
Right.
5.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. That is nuts. Okay,
it's
so there you
absolutely
go.
Crazy to think about it because I will say very quickly, for me personally, I've had the pleasure of watching them host a cup here at home, even in Philadelphia back in 2013. So it's a huge moment.
This is their big show. There's no doubt. They're the ones that win this thing. They've had plenty. We're going for our first, so it should be rather interesting. I will tell everybody, don't write Kansas City off. Do not do it. They find ways in knockout games. And as much as everybody throws heat on Peter Vermees and the vitriol is what it is, he finds ways. It doesn't have to be pretty, but he finds ways. This is who he is. This is how he's had this club. They're here. They're going to be in the show. And that's, at the end of the day, all that matters. When I say a win is a win, I mean it. This is a tournament. You get there, and whatever happens, happens. Again, you can't predict the final. They go crazy. On that note, it's also for SKC with how hard the season's been for them. This is kind of that saving grace, right? This is the savior type of game. So they're in it. They're in the show. For us, it's another chance at redemption after being doing what we've done over the past few weeks. And yeah, you all know. I don't want to remind you too much about it, but it's another chance to right the ship. That's for sure. Yes, we've been playing great otherwise, but it's a cup final. We got to do something in one of those. And that's where I'll throw it over to Tony. How are you feeling, sir? I know you were at the watch party over at Golden Road. Looked like it was a lot of fun. Vibes, sir. How do you feel?
I feel pretty well. It was a good win. I don't know about controversial. Either way, that call could have gone either way. I was looking at it like it's up to the referee. You can interpret it each which way it went. So it's again, luck is luck, and that's how it goes at the end of games when it is tight. So it is what it is. We're into the final. We can have another cup, but hopefully we can, get the bad juju out and actually bring this cup home and bring an actual. This one I'll actually be more mad that we don't lift because there is prestige to this trophy more than the other one was. So, but overall, doing pretty well. Excited for to host a home game, and see what can move on from there.
We've had a good history with home cup finals. They've been chaotic, but there is history there. Yeah, about that penalty. We'll go over it a little bit, but I'm just like, how many extremities do you want to hit as you still complain? It's funny to me. Whatevs. We got the win. That's all that matters. All right, let's talk about the match though fully. About how things transpired. Yes, I do stand corrected. I'll throw it up right there. They play on a carpet. What a shock! Both at the training center and at the stadium. So they gave us their best impression of Wednesday Night Lights, where you had a camera angle that seemed to film better I don't know, the shine off off the turf than the actual game itself. What a lovely reflection we got all game there. But yeah, they were on the trash field yet again. Again, I think the local high school has a better turf field than they did. To me, it's atrocious. But hey, we know how to play on it now, which is nice, I guess. But yeah, there was that. And of course, the way they turned the camera, I guess they wanted to keep all of us off the screen because we traveled pretty well for this one. But there it is. Now, looking at the lineups, I mean, honestly, you could write it anywhere. You already know who was out there, right? They had Morris up top, Rusnak as their central attacking midfielder, rolled on, and Rothrock. Yeah, that's right. Attacking mids out there. João Paulo and Vargas holding it down. Reagan, Gomez, Roldan, Tolo, but their cup keeper, as they call him, Thomas, was in the net. Yeah, I know. Totally unsurprising, uninspired, no difference. There you go. Seattle does what they do. Of course, we did shift things a bit. We did. Did we play the 3-4-3? Yeah, we did that. That seems to be the thing. But there were a little bit of changes due to some injuries, of course. Giroud wasn't even dressed for the game, right? So he wasn't there. Mario was injured, so he wasn't going to be available for this thing. And so basically, you had Luis in goal. You had Chanot, Long, and Segura holding things down in the back. Tillman and O'Brien got the start on the day. I know, a little different, right? With Campos and Palencia as your outsides. I know, a little different. Up top, though, Kamara, I think we all kind of agreed that's what it should have been, and it was. But Olvera and Bouanga got the start rather than Bogusz. So, again, a little difference, but when you have so much talent up top, you can shuffle things. And honestly, Bouanga was in the position that he's strongest. Kamara is in the position that he's strongest, and so is Olvera. They're all in the proper spots. You would expect to see a good game come from this. Of course, it was rough. It was a little nasty. It was a little chippy. The play wasn't the prettiest. We all know why. But hey, we did own the run of play, which was nice to see, right, Tony?
Oh my! It was honest. It was the right of play, but I feel like they were hungover. To be honest, like me and like they were still hungover from the cup final. But it was, what is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, again, it wasn't pretty. There was nothing. When I say winning is a win, I mean it. It was not pretty. I think part of that was the field situation as a train goes steaming. I don't. It's so weird. Yeah, it wasn't pretty. I think we were dealing with that weekend match, tired legs. I know they played on the weekend too, but the emotions from our side, it's hard to get over. That's for sure. Now they did get to it though. They did do the job. The only times where it was really threatening for them were on occasional counters and I'll say it, unnecessary dead ball situations. There were a few weird fouls that we gave up that could have cost us this game. But that was kind of what they were getting on our end, though. We were pushing these guys. It was hard to get a shot on goal. That was kind of weird. I think we had one in the first half on goal, or was it none? It was pretty sad in terms of getting through what they were setting up against us. And it took us a long time to get the breakthrough. And I'll throw it up to Tony. The one highlight, sir.
The one highlight. Well, there's a couple different highlights where there was a good clearance off the line from Seattle where it just, I thought they were still in. It could have been, I thought they could VAR. Like, I even had to check and realize that VAR is in the U.S. Open Cup today, and surprised they didn't even use it because of the handball in the box. And this is why I say this call could have gone either way. It's a very one. It's up to debate for who you want as a referee, but the rule is if the hand is in a very purposeful position and not a natural position, and it hits your hand, it's a handball. The way it came off, like you could see it was off away from his body, but he was turning, and it was like, look like he was trying to cross it. It was like a whole still the forearm. It was like a weird
Chicken
thing.
wing, man.
Yeah. But it was like still close enough to his body where you could say like, oh, the referee could have been like, you know what, maybe it's, at the end of the day, called it a call. He called it handball penalty. Bouanga puts it away, and we move on. And as much as Seattle said, oh, we got cheated, X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. You got, at the end of the day, it's football. You had home field advantage. Unfortunately, you guys didn't get to play on your home field because of a concert that was going around on your home field. Yeah, Metallica going on your home field. We had the same situation. We had to, during last year, during the Leagues Cup, we couldn't play on our home field because of a concert that was going on during the game. So we had to move to the Rose Bowl and end up losing to Monterey. So that's how it goes. And, we're the first one to say it. But at the end of the day, we move on. We go on to the U.S. Cup Open Final, which is going to be Wednesday, September 25th. So not that long ago. It's going to be a very eventful September. We can say that right now. And a chance to lift a cup. And then, again, we helped out SKC make it to Champions League.
Automatically in. So there it is. See how that plays, Araceli? You're in the Champions League. Congratulations. It's on. Your thoughts on the match? You had a good chance to watch this game. What did you think, Araceli?
I think that the match itself was obviously very chippy. The way you described it, that it kind of looked like a drunken mess at times, is honestly the best way to word it, considering the short turnaround it was. I know Giroud was there, but he wasn't dressed, and I'm trying to find official word on it, but apparently he was injured, hence why he did not appear on the roster at all. So again, need to dig a little deeper into that to see if it's true or what exactly is going on with him. But otherwise, like I said, the game itself, it had its moments. There were some decent chances, but ultimately we saw how it ended. And I know for me, I really thought it was going to go into extra time in the penalty shootout at the rate that it was going. But of course, we had that controversial call, which ultimately gave LAFC the win.
Yeah, and ultimately, the ref makes the call, which means the only way that's not going to be a penalty is if it's clear and obvious, right? The error has to be clear and obvious. Now, the eye in the sky was back in Dallas. It was Kevin Stott. We all know Kevin Stott. He's been in this thing forever and a day, right? He was the man in charge for VAR. And so he has to look at that and see, is it clear and obvious? That's the only way it's going to run. I looked at it like there's two defenders, both kind of leaving their feet, bending in to a shot. The arm's there. I mean, you're leaning in, right? And there's two guys leaning in at the same time. If it doesn't hit one, it hits the other. In this case, it hit both. Both arms. Whatevs. But yeah, contact was made. You made yourself bigger using your arms. That is the thought here. And that's why the call happened. Whether you like it or not, deal with it, right? We've had tough calls before. We know this. We know what it feels like. But again, if you make yourself bigger to stop a shot and it happens to hit your arm, it's gonna get called. It's gonna get called. There's no way around that. And it is, say you're not there. Where does the ball go? We don't know, because guess what? You got in the way. Congratulations. Deal with it. After that, though, of course, there were some dodgy moments towards the end with some free kicks that came in. But good on the boys. They got the job done at the end of the day. Hard fought battle. Long took a lot of hits in this game. I mean, he took a beating in this game. Let's be real. And got again, bend, don't break. That's what it was. In terms of Giroud, yeah, he did come off with a knock against Columbus. His knee took a hit. He was limping a bit coming off the field. That's why he came off. So I the way I see it is you're now going with a guy with a jacked up knee or even questionable knee on a rug. There's no chance, man. I'm not putting him on that thing. It's a disaster of a field. I will say this: I did laughed a lot at the little tifo that they offered about the whole money thing, and it's like, okay, guys, there will be a response for that. We'll have fun with that one. But that was pretty funny, especially coming from those guys. So whatevs. We got the win. We move on. I don't have to be bitter about anything because we got the darn win and we swept them for the season so far. I know we're gonna meet them again at some point this year. It's written in the cards that we have to play Seattle 25 times. Okay, fine. We're used to it. We play them a lot anyway. So there goes that. We got a result. We get to move on. We have to deal with Houston with not a lot of rest and a very busy schedule behind us. But the good news is, of course, we're not losing Olvera and we're not losing Bogus, apparently. They're both staying. That's now where the rumors are at, that we've moved on, that we're going to keep these guys because we didn't get the replacements we thought. That's the rumor out there. So you know what? If that's the case, cool. We kind of need them to make a run. I'm fine with that. Tony, you saw the rumors as well. We'll jump over you on that one. What are you thinking? Are you happy? Are you surprised?
I'm happy with it. Like, honestly, like, why change up like the chemistry with all the players, bringing in 2 new players midway through a season that, who are like, it's not saying that they're not like, if it was like not crucial players, like could be easily intertwined, 100%. Like, I understand, like, go for it, like, make your team better. But these two have finally been producing. Bogus is on a whole nother level. It's like crazy that it's like that. And then Oliveira is again finally come back into form, after coming back from international play, knows how to play, knows how to finish, knows how to do everything, and is chippy enough. And honestly, I know you want to sell the money and you can try to get the most of it, but just to sell him for $8 million down to Liga MX, I feel we can send, like, this is me being greedy and saying, like, sell him, like, when it's hot, sell him. It's like, well, why not wait until like the winter transfer window when we're out of season and maybe a team needs a player like him to move forward,
Yeah, and the other thought is, do you really think he wants to go there?
Mm-mm.
I mean, yeah, if the money's good, the money's good, but do you think that's the trajectory he's going for as a player?
I don't think so.
From Uruguay to MLS to Liga MX? I know it's a higher level than ours. I do. But I don't think that's the jump he's looking for. Like, it's like you landed halfway across the puddle, man. It didn't quite get where you wanted to go. The other rumors for him earlier were Italy. Now, I think you'd be excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't think it was right. I don't think the fit was right at the end of the day, and the pot wasn't right as well. The Bogus rumor, of course, which we heard got shot down pretty quick, to Celtic. I was kind of excited just about the thought of him going there. Yeah, at this point of the season, man, we need to make our run. We need to take things as serious as we can. And if these are the guys we have and we didn't get the Leagues Cup, I think that might have affected things too.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say I take the club way more seriously by holding on to these guys. That shows an intent, and I'm happy with that. And you're right, Tony. I think we get more money in the winter break because there's going to be some desperate teams looking for talent. I mean, the other rumor that we heard during this whole thing was what FC St. Pauli was going for Bawanga, and that, of course, that died pretty quick. But again, a team like that who already got a rough start. Now they go mid-season. Nobody wants to get relegated. There's going to be a lot of teams on the bubble and a lot of leagues that are looking for an offensive talent. And you look at Champions League and how crazy that tournament's now going to be, how busy that one's going to be with the new format. There's going to be opportunities. more will present themselves, and hopefully it's after we win something and everybody's noticed that. But yeah, good on them for holding on to these guys. I'm happy about that. We're good. We're good. All right. So I do see, I know LAFC 2 we talked about already. So not a lot we can update on Araceli. I mean, quick reminder for everybody, Araceli, what are they doing this week?
A quick reminder that LAFC 2 will continue their playoff push this Friday at Titan Stadium as they host the Tacoma Defiance. Kickoff is at 7:30. Match will be streamed on Apple TV. As I've always said before, if you're able to make it out to a game, I highly recommend it, especially now that it's nearing the end of the regular season. Right now, LAFC 2 currently sits in 4th place in the West with 39 points, just 1 point below Ventura. And I believe this is their third of last home matches. I think after this one, there's only like 2 left. And then we get into the playoffs. And of course, we'll deep dive a little more into it when it comes time for it.
Yeah. For sure. And we'll have another episode, that. And we're getting a lot more clarity after this week's game. So again, it's tight. We're at the top, near the top. First place, probably not going to happen, but there's still a shot at second. So we got to keep pushing. That's for sure. Thank you, Araceli, for that update. I do see some comments from the faithful. I think it's a good time to listen to you guys. We love you guys. Let's see what you have to say. Again, always join the conversation. We love what you guys have to say. You're the reason why we do these things. Let's see where we're at. Who got first today? Oh, Mendo, first in the mix. He says, what up, Tony, Araceli, and Joseph? Heart of the comments. You're a comrade too. There's no doubt Mendo have been here throughout, my friend. He says, hard-fought match, but Seattle didn't take advantage of home field. I mean, it wasn't really their home field. It was their training fields. I guess you're comfortable, right? It's Starfire. Whatever. They've had it there forever. Yeah, not the greatest, but we got the job done. That's all that matters. Lunch special Geo, another old friend of the pod here, says Bonga had a horrible night. He's never missed a penalty since he joined us, but for the first time last night, I was nervous when he took that pen. I was too, but man, that was a nice penalty. Whenever you can hit that side netting, you did exactly what you needed to do. So good on him on that. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm sure he took it real hard with the Columbus game. How do you not? Because he puts everything on his shoulders. He doesn't give up on any games. He wants to push every game. He doesn't rest at times, but he probably should. There's some miles on his legs this year, that's for sure. Not sure when he's going to get a rest. Could it be this weekend? Who knows? I just don't think he's the kind of guy that he's kind of like Ilya. He never wants to take one. But that does add miles, right? And so yeah, he has the last 2 games have been a little tougher for him. We expected a bit more, but again, look what he's going through. He still was in it. I mean, that's for sure, but I get you. I do. Mendo. There we go. All right. Mendo says Kamaro's shot was saved by 2 sounder headers. That was wild, actually. That play was pretty wild. But Bogu's shot was saved by 2 sounder hands. That's what I'm saying. You're on it. Also, he says we don't know how much Sergi's newborn has inspired him this season. Dude, Palencia's dialed in. He gets a little rough at times. He gives up some free kicks at times that are a little bit questionable. But again, that's the intensity that does that. He's had a good year. There's no question. We love what he provides to this team. Gerardo Rios says LFG, one more final. One more final to lose. No, let's not do that. He says he's coping with some humor. I do, the gallows humor. I get you. Yeah, trust me, it's been a rough couple days in the lead up. Even watching this game was like, don't mess this up. Like, I've never needed a game as much as that one. I gotta be honest, as a fan, like I need this. Like, don't do this to us again. They did it. They got the job done. He also says he'll be here for the final. I'll be there for the final. Araceli might be there for the final. We hope. I know Tony's going to be in the mix too. Mando says, Bonga's knees in the front flip celebration, almost a disaster. Again, jump on that stuff. It's never good. See, Mufasa 714, he says, Was in the middle of an anatomy lecture, listening to the game, stressed out, glad we got the W. Exactly. I think it felt like that. It was like going through some sort of an exam rather than a football match. Like, yeah, please get the right results, Like, geez. Yeah, not good. Oh, Mendo, you had to ask it, didn't you? Yeah, you saw it. I don't want to put her on this spot, but you did mention Araceli. Who do you choose for the Open Cup final? We will know on match day what jersey she's wearing. Fair enough, Araceli? We'll add some suspense there.
I plead
So
the fifth.
sometime on a Wednesday in September, we'll get that answer. That's for sure. Oh, yeah, Mendo said goalkeepers may need to add another set of bench presses to stop Bouanga's blasts. Nah, he hits it proper. That's for sure. You know who I think the most deceptive, or he's not even a secret anymore, but the hardest shot I've seen, especially in warm-ups lately, it's been a battle between Bogus and Tillman. Tillmans are like evil hard. Trust me. They're pretty wicked. Yeah. Again, we've got weapons, guys. Good stuff on you guys. Definitely jump on, add some more as we go in the episode, as we preview Houston. We want to hear you guys' take on that as well. Actually, before we do Houston, community news, Tony, there's some tailgate news we got.
Yeah, there's a lot of tailgates since it is a home match finally for the first time in a while. And let me phrase it. A home match on a Saturday that's a regular season in a while. I know Expos is doing a carne asada for the day. BA will always be there bright and early. I'm actually going to be able to make it to a tailgate early and probably stay for a while. We'll see what time I'll go. Like those 7 a.m. tailgates are kind of behind me. Let's just be real. Like it's good in the beginning, but then it's just like you need to prioritize sometimes rest. Crew is doing a tailgate. They're having a raffle and merch available. They'll be there from 10 a.m. And that's about it for premium. Oh, also still calling all artists for the Black Army 3252 art show. Just reach out DM or reach out through email at bagivesback@gmail.com. So, and it's coming up quick. So, one, be prepared to, silent auction and spend some money on some great stuff. And it's also going to a good charity or a good, not charity, a good, what would you call it? Because Vic is like more of like cause. Yeah, it would be a good cause. Because like Vic is like, honestly, Vic is a great guy, and what he does for the community and everything he does is great. So yeah, and of course there'll be fun and entertainment and stuff like that, and probably some raffles going on in there. So be prepared for that coming up soon.
Exactly. No, Vic is amazing. He's helped out so many kids in our community. He still does it. Doesn't ever hold back. Gets more intense. Gets better with every year with what he does. We are proud of where he's brought his organization, Athletes in the Making, and where it's going to continue to go. So, shout out to the man. It's beautiful. And yeah, support it, people. I know I'll be there, but yeah. All right. So Vinyl Club Minute, I'm just gonna do a little bit of a tongue in cheek for this one. It's not hard to figure out who I'm going to go with. Obviously, Metallica, because thank you, Metallica. We'll go with the 72 Seasons album. Not their best album, but a really good album. And it's what the tour is supporting. So we'll go with 72 Seasons. Want to pick a song? I'll take the easy one, Lux Eterna. Yeah, it's Metallica, people. That's why they didn't get to play in their lovely little field, and we got to play at what apparently was a train station. I don't know. Fun times, that's for sure. But hey, we got the win. Moving on. Enjoy your tour, Metallica. We all love you. You know that. All right. On to the next thing, the preview. Yeah, that's right. Let's talk about Houston. You're like, oh, it's just Houston. Never say that about Houston. Houston always finds a way to hurt us when we think we figured things out. Always, every time. Tony, what team worries you a lot every time we play them?
Houston.
Yeah.
So let's be real. All of the Texas teams.
Dude, right? We have issues with some teams. You think Columbus is the only team we struggle against? No, Houston breaks our hearts. They've done it a lot. They've hurt us a lot. And they have some familiar faces that want to get one over on us too. Araceli, you know this, right? I mean, they're kind of a tricky team to deal with.
Oh, I know Houston all too well, especially with Sporting KC. We call them the crushed orange for a reason.
They crush a lot of hearts. That's and a lot of hope. Yeah, they do. They do. And playing down there is hell. Thankfully, that ain't the case this week. But it doesn't make it any easier. And you're like, well, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Well, I mean, let's talk about our head-to-head record. Last 5 matches. Okay. Last game at home, we beat them 2-0. But guess what? Another home game. Before that, we lost to them 1-0 in our own house. Okay. You go farther back. They beat us 4-0, right, in their house. The last time we played them in their house. Before that, we took them 3-1, but then they beat us 2-1. So if you look at the last 5 games, yeah, this team burns us, guys. It's not a walk in the park. Yes, the record ain't the greatest in the moment, but they're still a strong side. They're still probably going to play a playoff side when this is all said and done. I expect them to be in the playoffs when it's all said and done. And again, they're looking for something here. That's for sure. Yeah, I know. Recently they lost to Toronto. I get that. But they also won in Vancouver, and that's never an easy thing to do. They find ways. They're pragmatic. And you're like, okay, well, what should we expect from a team like this? Well, defensively, similar to us, right? We've allowed 30, they've allowed 31. Okay. Scoring seems to be their biggest issue. I mean, we've popped goals left and right. They don't. They're a little more tighter. They only have about 35 goals this year. Not a big goal scorer that runs the show for them. It's kind of a spread of wealth. That's how they approach the game. And you're like, well, who are the guys to look for? Well, I'll give you a familiar name for everybody. Latif Blessing. Yeah, that guy. We love Latif, right? We do. We've got a great history with Latif. But guess what? His best day this weekend will be our worst. We got to watch out for him. And he has scoring goals. He's got 5 already this year. And you're like, well, that's not a whole lot. He's 1 off of the lead of the team. Their leading scorer right now is Ibrahim Ayew, 6 goals. Beyond that, you've got Sebastian Ferreira, 5, Sebastian Kowalczyk, 3. And then you go down the line and there's about 12 players with a goal. Yeah, it's spread about in terms of goal scoring for them. Assists, Bassi would be the guy to watch out for. He's at 9 assists already. Ayew has 5. Okay. Again, Plucky, if you look down the line on that, same story. There's about 12 guys, and there's a guy by the name of Franco Escobar that's on that list for assists too. I'm just saying. Yeah, we have some familiar faces in this game. What are we going to look at in terms of lineup? What to expect from these guys? Here's a shocker. They play a 4-2-3-1. Why is that? I don't know. That's just how teams usually face us anyway. But that's usually what they're going to play with. Now, in the loss to Toronto, who did they field? Who were their starters for this game? Well, Clark was in goal. Classic veteran. Araceli, you know Clark well, right? I mean, he's been around.
Oh, I know Clark all too well, even from his Portland days.
Yeah, he's got some cups, right? He's won some things. So you've got him. You have Sviatchenko and Mikhail as their center backs. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the same 2 faces. You have Dorsey and Escobar as their outside backs. He's on the left, apparently. That's what they're going with. Defensive midfielders. This is where it gets kind of fun and gets kind of choppy. They have Artur and they have, Herrera. We know that guy. He's a bit of an intense dude. So that's your defensive midfielders. Bossy is your attacking midfielder. Blessing out on the right, you out on the left. Last game, Ponce was their striker up top. If we go back to the last MLS game before that, it was Ponce again. I look at the lineup and not much difference. Quite literally the same time when they beat Vancouver. I don't really look at the League Cup matches. We know they shuffled things for that game, but league matches, this seems to be their agreed upon starting lineup. Araceli, you've seen what these guys can do at MLS next level. Are there any players we need to watch out for outside of these main starters?
On the MLS Next Pro side of things, I know there has been a handful of players that's been very dangerous. I'm thinking Gonzalez is one that definitely comes to mind. He's an attacking mid. So if they were to utilize him, he would definitely be a huge threat to LAFC. Because, I mean, just generally speaking, looking at this roster, they do have a very powerful roster. They are very sneaky, especially on the counterattacks. And I do see Houston being motivated because looking at the standings, they sit tied with Portland with 37 points, just below the playoff line. And much like how MLS Next Pro's decision day is coming up quickly, so is MLS. So things are going to get very interesting very quickly.
Yeah, August, September, historically is when things tighten up. The wide open games kind of shut down. You get tight games. You get hard games. You get rough games played. Some teams, they're already playing as if it's the playoffs. This will be one of them. This is going to be a hard one. It's not going to be easy. I might be wrong. We blow these guys out, but I would say it's not going to be easy. If you get one early, yeah, okay, I can see us running away with this thing. But if they can hold us for at least the first 25 minutes, it could be the half, right? I really, again, if they get into their shape, if they hold shape, it's going to be a hard breakdown for us. That's for sure. Other names that I noticed that popped up: Daniel Steres, familiar face there. Sebastian Ferreira, another familiar face. Those are the big ones that came up to me. Brad Smith, man, that dude's still doing his thing. And some veteran presence that could find their way into the lineup. I think those are the names that stand out the most to me that probably will get into the game at some point. Kereskia is another name that I see popping up here too. So again, not going to be easy for us. I think the better question will be, what do we do, right? We've had a busy schedule, a lot of hard games, emotional ups and downs. Yeah, how is it going to field for us? What's it going to look like in this match for LAFC? How are we going to shuffle the lineup? I think I can see how it's going to shuffle. But yeah, managing minutes is going to be something important. This is one of those games where you might actually see the managed minute kind of lineup. I'll go to you, Tony, first. Do you think Murillo is going to be ready for this? They're going to give him a little more time.
I think they're going to get a little more time. I would, especially with this, what's coming up this season, what's coming up this month. Let's be real. Like, I know we don't try to look. We're trying to look game by game, but if you want to realistically look at it, if we give him the rest of this game, give him some more time to heal, we might need to give him for one more game. But realistically, September 13th, where we're going, Carson. Okay, we have that game, which is very highly important. And like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's probably about, again, for first place in the West. And then, of course, we have the U.S. Open Cup final, which is near the end of the month. So I say we rest him because we will need him, especially for those two games, and give him much time to rest and heal. I don't think we should force it out that quickly.
No, I think if you can get a guy a rest, this is the game to do it. I know how hard it is to play Houston. I get that. But you've got guys on the edge of injury, honestly, with the games we've put in recently, going deep into tournaments and, doing our thing. Now, the rest of the back line, likely it's looking to be the 3-4-3. Araceli, you're looking at a 3-4-3 again, right?
I would see that, yes.
All right, so Lloris back in goal. Why would it not be anybody else? Chanot, Long, and Segura. Are we all in agreement here? That's probably going to be the lineup again. Head shaking, yes, I think. Right?
I feel like it will.
Different. Yeah,
because I do agree to give Maria more time.
Agreed. Now, Atuesta Sanchez did not start last game. Does this pretty much mean that's who we're going to see for this? I know Atuesta was questionable. Could it be Sanchez Tillman? Questions on that. I'll go to you, Tony, first. Who are your holding midfielders?
Holding midfield, I think it would be since Ilya came in later on, I think Ilya would probably be the holding midfielder, to be honest, out of the two. Tillman could probably run it again, but if we're just trying to keep rest and it's going to be a very busy month, I think Ilya gets to start for the holding midfielder.
All right, and now we have Campos versus Hollingshead on the left. Who do we got, Araceli?
I would go with Hollingshead. It's Houston. We need the veterans.
Agreed, and Campos got to play most of the match, the last one, so that would make sense. Palencia, he's not coming out. He's going to do his thing. Up top, Bouanga, I still think he's going to play. Why would he not? I don't think he'll let you take him out of the lineup, to be honest. Bogus, because he didn't get the start, I would say probably going to be the guy. Tony, You probably agree with that, Ursula. You probably agree with that as well.
Yeah, there's no change really.
Yeah.
There's
Now-
a change. There's a change if we sold,
Mhm.
then we have a conversation. But then since there was no sell, there was no transfer, no nothing. There's no conversations up until they're gone.
Right. And you see the difference he makes when he came into the game against Seattle. I mean, we're like a different team. So, yeah. Now, who's the striker up top? Who's the guy in the middle? Ursula, I'll go to you first. Who do you think? I know there's some injury conversations, but who's your option here?
I would love to see our dads start getting more minutes, but I have a feeling it's going to be Kamara.
Okay. Tony?
Kamara. If I think that's what we're
Yeah.
talking about, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing, and I think Giroud will be fine by this game, and we'll probably sub in at this point. I don't know. I don't think they'll push him to start. If they do, that means he's miraculously healed, right? I think if Giroud can start, he will start, but I'm not sure he's ready for that. We'll see. I know we saw him against Columbus, but again, he took a knock, so it should be interesting to see that novella playing itself out. But yeah, Kamara, dude, he's just been playing so good. Why not play him? If he can do it, he can go. You know, I've been really happy with him. All right,
Plus,
so
on
there's a
Giroud,
potential.
you would want to give him an extra game to rest, like Murillo, because with the
I would think.
with the type of games that are coming up this month.
Yeah, some big rivalry matches and cup matches, and September is nuts. Hard matches too. There's a lot asked from the boys in the next month. It's gonna be difficult, very difficult. So yeah, I'm with you guys. The rest is preferred, to be honest. All right, so seeing what our lineups are, let's see what you guys think. There's about 10 comments sitting out there for you guys. Let me see. Going back here. Mendo says, true, Tony. We struggle with texts and clubs. In the month of September, we play all three of them. I know. We got like Austin on a Wednesday, guys. Ugh. Okay. I know. Mendo says, who remembers that Golasso from Escobar to make it 4-0 last year at Houston, who also celebrated but then scored an own goal during the Western Conference Final Four as well? Karma, right? The man's intense. We know this. I do miss him with our colors. I will say that, but Palencia makes it such a soft landing to make that replacement that we're fine. We're fine. Christian is on here. Welcome back home, sir. I saw that you were at the watch party. Good on you. He says Tony's cats are awesome. There we go. Cats doing cat things, right? There it is. Cryptop says, what's up? He's making jokes. Okay. Let's see. Mendo says, good try, Philly. You will not exchange for Hello Kitty. Interesting. Would you exchange for the bobblehead of the Dodgers? Yeah. Remember those are worth now. There we go. All right. So there are our comments. Good on you guys. Thank you once again for doing your thing, giving us the heads up and telling us how you guys feel, because that is critical. That's how this show operates. It always has, always will. We love y'all. Keep it going, everybody. And we do look forward to seeing you all this weekend. Most of you, I think, will be there. All right. Yeah, I know. A little quick one, but we are definitely closing this bad boy out. I know. So you know how we do things. Tradition is what it is. I'm going to go over to you, Tony, first. What are your final thoughts, sir?
Final thought is pretty much, have fun this weekend. Drink responsibly, and let's go out and cheer for the boys and trying to get back into league play and mid-season form for this to hopefully have a shot at raising the supporter shield, because that's the ultimate goal. Because if we don't, then we have a lot of maybe away days to go that. So at that point, I kind of want to start saving up, because it gets expensive real quick. Besides that, it's okay not to be okay. Just call somebody if you need to, just to talk, just to express what you need to do, even if it's just a ear to listen to and you just don't want answers. It's okay. Just, call someone. It's all right. No worries. Like, that's what we're all here for. And, sometimes just someone just needs there to listen to no matter what. So that's my final say.
There we go. Araceli, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Wishing everyone a very fun and safe Labor Day weekend, whether if you're going to the LAFC 2 game or even the LAFC game itself. And because it is a home game, be safe. Don't be stupid, and always have a plan B, whether that's riding with a friend, calling an Uber, calling a family member, whichever it may be. Look out for each other. Ultimately, have fun. But at the same time, we're going into a very busy month. I know for myself, regardless if I'm able to come out for the final or not, it's still an exciting matchup either way. So that's definitely something to look forward to.
There we go. Thank you, Araceli. And I'll throw it out there to you guys. Shout out to everybody who made the trip up to Seattle. That was absolutely outstanding from all of you guys. It is a hard one on a short notice. Y'all rock for that. Shout out to the supporters throughout Southern California that actually showed up for watch parties, and there were a lot of good ones this time around in the middle of the week. So good on you for that too. Again, showing the colors everywhere. That's how this club grows. It's always how it's grown. The community leads it. So let's not lose that spirit. That's for sure. And as they say, look out for each other. It is critical. Anytime, does not matter. Talk, right? Communicate. Check in on your friends. Have that conversation. There's nothing wrong with that at all. The more we talk, the better we all are, especially these interesting times. And on that note, of course, it's a big thank you to all of you guys that keep us going. We've kind of hit a milestone. We'll talk about it more in the next episode. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, we just keep on going, guys, and it's a beautiful thing. No stopping. That's for sure. Which, of course, brings us to the very, very end of it. The final word. How we close out every episode, all 363 episodes. Tony, you have the floor.
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
Araceli.
Stay golden.
And from me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.